Hello, research scholars. Welcome to Research Techniques series. I am Dr. J.K. Sachdeva. You will learn various research techniques. You can use these techniques in your research work to analyze data. Dear scholars, please note each research problem, whether medical, engineering, natural sciences, social sciences, including economical, human behavior, and psychological, are unique in nature. Each problem needs to be handled and analyzed with specific methodology. Each technique which I am going to take is general in nature and should be used under expert advice. If you are beginner, learn the techniques and use your expertise specific to your problem wherever required. Further, you may submit your research work at Journal of Global Economy. Your work is evaluated by peers with double-blind methodology. You will get comments for your work. Enjoy the learning and use these techniques for your research work. Thank you. Hello. Today we will learn compounded annual growth rate. Many a times scholars have to analyze historical data and they will have to find out the compounded annual growth rate for a certain period, during a certain period. But they use wrong methods. Today we will learn how to find out compounded annual growth rate, CAGR. Historical data needs analysis by many ways. We need CAGR to observe annual compounded growth rate for historical data, to compare growth rates among various periods, to observe trends in between sub-periods. We learned at school how to find out compounded amount. This was calculated by using the formula A is equal to P into 1 plus R raised to power n, where P is the principal amount, A is the compounded amount, as in your FDR, fixed deposit. So if you take out P towards the left side, so A upon P is equal to 1 plus R raised to power n. To calculate R, we'll have to take out all these things and it comes out to be A upon P raised to power 1 upon n minus 1. So if we use G instead of R, we can calculate G, which is our compounded growth rate, that is A upon P raised to power 1 upon n minus 1. So people use this method to calculate the compounded growth rate. Let us see an example here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 10, and sales during this period is 10, 12, 15, 20, 38, 19, 20, 25, 35, 50. So what we are going to take? We are going to take the 50 and the 10, first value and last value. So we find out the growth rate, compounded growth rate, 10th root of 50 divided by 10. This comes out to be 17.46%. This is not the correct method. No formula is correct. Scholars should note that it is not the correct method. Let us observe why. See, these numbers are same 1, 2, 3, 10 up to 10, and sales numbers are there. Now I want to find out the compounded growth rate. This will be equal to last value divided by first value raised to power 1 upon count. Actually, I did not count because I know there are 10 observations, but I can use this as compounded growth rate by counting it 1 upon n. This comes out to be 1.17461, but I have to subtract 1 from this. So I will open another bracket here and I will subtract 1, and I can further multiply it. I can further multiply it by 100. So this will give me the percentage. So this comes out to be 17.46189%. The problem here is, if I change the values here, say if I change the values here as 70, I change the values here as 80, or if I change the values here as 90, the compounded growth rate does not change, because we are taking only the first value and the last value. So that is not correct. Secondly, we do not know what is happening in between. Further, we do not know whether this growth rate is dependable or not. How much we can depend upon this. So, this is not the correct method. What is the correct method? What is the correct method? The correct method is regression. The correct method is regression. So, how will we do that? We will do this way by taking this original formula, A is equal to P into 1 plus R raised to power n. We will take log of both sides. Log A is equal to log P plus n into log 1 plus R. Now this has become a linear equation. So we can take log A as y, log P as A. So log 1 plus R will become our B, that is coefficient of n. In other words, just take log of y and regress on years, that is n. Then take antilog of B, subtract 1, you will get the G. Let us see how it works. I am going to take up now log of this number. Let us say this is my, I am going to take natural log, ln of y. This is my y, this is my n. So, and this is my equal to ln of this natural log. I'm going to, natural log means log to the base e instead of taking 10. So this is natural log and n, and this I have taken it. Now I'll go to data now. I'll go to data. I'll go to data analysis. Then I will search regression. I'll say OK. And I will, y range will be my this y range. This will be my y range. Because ln which I have taken, that will be my y range. X range will be my numbers, all numbers 1 to 10. And I can put the output somewhere here. I can put output somewhere here. So this will be, I'll see, okay. Now this has come out to be a regression. Now this one is your coefficient of, because I have changed the numbers, That is why these numbers have been changed in between. So this one is now coming as equal to exp, because we have taken log, ln, natural log. So now we will take exponential term of coefficient of b. Okay, so minus 1, that will give me the this one. Okay, now I can multiply it by 100 to get my compounded growth. So this can further be multiplied by 100 minus 1, then we can multiply it by further 100 into 100. So this will give this compound. Now this compounded growth rate, the coefficient of b, the p value of this is less than 0.05, as p value is less than 0.05, so growth rate is statistically significant at 5% level. So you can even say 1% level, because this is even less than 0.0. Further, r square is 0.72. Now it means as r square is 0.72. It means 72%. It means 72% of variances of y are explained by numbers, that is time. So this way you can find out the significance as well as you can find out this. Now we are using all the numbers. Now if we change the numbers here, say if I make the numbers here 70, here 80, or here as 60, or here as 10, so what will happen? I will do the data, I will go to data analysis, do the regression, but I will make the output somewhere else. Now here. Now after doing this, I'll say okay. Now the p value, now the growth rate is now 3% only, equal to exp minus 1 into 100. If I do it into 100, so 3.2%, and this p value is more than 0.05. It means this is not significant. R square is even 0.01%. So it means only 1% variances are explained by time. Model is also not significant. F value, this model is also not statistically significant. So if we change the values here, though the original values, first value, last value remain same, but this has come to be they are almost same. I need to change it here so that you may understand this. Now original values are same, 50 and 10, but in between the values have changed. If we take up the first regression, the equation comes out to be 15.54%, but if we take the second regression by changing the numbers, it is 3%. So in this way we have seen doing regression by log linear method is the correct method. By taking the first value and last value is not the correct method. Thank you very much for watching. In the next video, we will learn something more. Thank you.